On today's episode of The Surface of the Sun, we are powder coating this old antique table. That dude's heavy. I bet that table weighs 60, 70 pounds. This just gives you an idea. What we got to try to get in all these holes. Oh gosh. I got to blast in all those holes and then powder coating them all and try to get it down. Yeah. Yep. I'm not sure if someone made this table or if this is like a production thing. It's got wheelie wheels on the bottom of it that don't roll anymore. It looks like it's supposed to have one of those rods here, maybe. Don't know. But they wanted it powder coated just the way it is. They do not want to take it apart. I don't blame them. It's too old to do that. A lot of times when you start taking stuff apart, you can't get it to go back together, or you ruin it taking it apart. What's the point? So I don't get me wrong. I like the powder coat stuff with it all apart. I feel like you get a better job that way. I can get the areas that are, overlapped. If you on this, there's places here where it's overlapped, right? Well, I can't get material between it. So what do? And I explained that to the customer, and he's good with it. So it's an inside item anyway. So I doubt he's going to have any issues with it. But we're going to fire the blaster up, blast this thing down. I'm going to get it hung up on a cart. We're going to get it hung up on the cart. Once I get it hung up, I'll show you what it looks like, and we're going to preheat this thing. I mean, it's going to be hot. I'm going to probably preheat it to 425 just so it stays hot long enough for me to get in all the little spots I got to get. And we'll show you how it is. Not an easy part to do. I know it looks simple, but if you're familiar with powder coating and you understand those holes and you know what Faraday cages are, not good. So, but we're going to do it anyway. We don't care if it's easy, if it's hard. What difference does that make? The guy wants it done. We're going to make it happen. Stay tuned. All right, this is what we got out of the blaster. What a pain. Oh my God. Yeah, that probably took about an hour to blast. There was a lot. All down inside the little grooves and, very difficult. But we got it pretty good. We're going to heat this up mildly. We can't get it too hot. The problem with cast iron is you put it in the oven and it turns orange, which isn't necessarily it's not a great thing, but it's not terrible either because it's cast iron and you have an active surface of iron, and they just tend to orange up a little bit when they get in the heat. So we're going to try not to heat it up too hot, probably 250 or 300 or so, and then back in the booth for a hot flot. We'll come back and show you that. All right, we got this thing mildly warm. It's not like super hot. It's a little bit hot. And you thought I was going to touch it, didn't you? No, I've been doing this too long for that. Now, what do we got? I got no air. Okay, that makes perfect sense. All right, now we got air. Oh, we got powder. All right, so what you do on stuff like this where you got to get in between the holes is I like to spray it from the bottom first. And it helps to get the in-betweens before I got to get more material than this. Anyway, it helps to get the in-betweens, and you'll see me do this on wheels where I spray stuff from the opposite side. That's just because if you're going to build it up, and it's going to be a touch heavy, you should do that on the bottom, right? That's kind of the way I look at it. I'd rather have it, if it's going to be subpar, let's have the subpar on the bottom. If it's a possibility, you're just trying to eliminate problems in the future. Future Mike does not want to deal with it not being coated in between the holes. So we're helping future Mike out right here. So I generally will go around like I did from the bottom. You can see it popping through the top there. And it gets most of it, but not all of it. You can see there's a little bareness from the top, but that's okay. We're going to get it from both ways, hopefully. Anybody know why GoPro camera turns off and says repairing the file? 5 minutes after it was on. I wonder if the SD card's kind of a poop turd. Could be. It's a scan disc one. The ones they recommend for it, so hopefully that's not the case. And since I did it from the bottom, the top is an easy coverage. We're getting it all. We're just killing it now. Sweet. Well, of course, we're going to double coat this like we do. I mean, we're definitely double coating this. Anything cast iron is, boy, it's a little bit of a challenge because it wants to rust before you can do anything with it. I mean, if you're a powder coater and you blast cast iron and you let it sit on your blast table for a couple of hours, good chance you got to re-blast it, at least in Florida. I mean, this is a soupy state, so I don't know about in the other states. In drier climates, you might be able to get away with just letting it hang out, but not here. You can do it a little bit here in the winter when it's cold outside. You can get away with a little bit of that, but not a lot. I can just tell you, like regular steel, if I blast regular steel, let's say I blast at 4 o'clock before I go home, and I want to do that the next morning. Nah. The next morning I come in, it's all dotted up. So I don't even try to do that. I used to try to blast it. Now in the wintertime, I could blast something and maybe not powder coat it a whole day or two. I don't do that though. I still don't do it. I just don't like it. Why not get it when it's freshly blasted? So I blast when I can spray, and I spray it. And then everything else, you gotta do some other day. That's just the way it goes. So this thing is an antique table. I'm not sure if somebody made this or if this is a factory design. I don't know. But I tell you this, that when I went to hang this thing up, I originally was going to hang it in those holes upside down. But I noticed that it's been broken there and repaired already. I was like, I don't want to do that, because if that weld breaks or something happens there, I'm going to lose the shop. It's going to hit the ground. I don't want to do that. So I don't think it's going to break, but it's cast iron. It's like glass, pretty much. You got to be real careful with it. Not let it get too shocked, too damaged. It's a good strong metal, but it's brittle. Try to get in and around the wheels, make sure those never ever turn again. They didn't turn before. I think they've been rusted solid since the 50s. I tried to turn them after I blasted it. It was a big no-go. This thing's still hot enough to melt. Jeez. This cast iron likes to just drink the powder. It's very porous, and it goes away. You put it on there, it looks smooth. You stick it in the oven, you bring it out, and it's rough because it's soaked in everywhere. I think this forgets and sugars. I'm going to go over this one more. I'm going to do it on this side. Actually, just to do something different. Same thing here, still melting. You're talking about a heavy duty thing here. I think it's cool though. I like this old stuff. It's just cool to take something that's been around 50, 60 years and restore it where it'll be around another 50, 60 years and people can enjoy it. I mean, more than likely, he's going to hand this down to people in his family or whatever. It was his mother's. I think it's still his mother's, honestly. And then another one, a little baby one that was probably maybe a foot square. I think he was testing me out just to see if I was, people do that from time to time. I don't blame them. Nowadays, you got these people out there that call themselves professionals, and then you ask them to do something for you, and they flail. So I don't blame them. I don't mind it a bit. Bring me something small, I'll powder coat it. If you're happy with it, then bring your house. No, I can't powder coat the house, but you know, bring the big thing afterwards. And I understand it. I don't really blame them at all. All right, so I think we're going to be good enough to do a little soak in the oven. And then we're going to bring it out and let it cool, which is going to take, you know, it'll be sometime next week maybe. And then we'll put another coat on it. And that'll be that. All right. You only turned it off once this time. I mean, the camera's only like a half a turd. It's not like a whole turd. It's like a half a turd. And then the other half is camera. But, all right, good stuff. We'll put this in the oven, and then when you go to put the second coat on it, we'll show you that. All right, here we are back. I guess I'll show you this first. I elected to just nib the top edge. There's a little roughness here and there. And I didn't want the top edge of the table to be rough if you touched it. That would suck. So I went ahead and nibbed the top of the edge, and it's a lot better. All right, back on the stand you go. We're going to do the same thing we did last time. We're just going to shoot it from the bottom, shoot it from the top. It'll be done. So now really, just like you've seen if you've watched any of my other videos, what we're doing here is we're covering up the shiny. That's our gig. Get the shiny covered up and you are done. Back in the oven she goes. Yeah, this thing took a while to cool. I bet it was an hour to cool. It was almost an hour to sandblast. Thing's been in here a while. I might have needed a pre-numb. I mean, damn. You think it's just a table, it's simple. I mean, but things that appear to be simple sometimes are not. And this is one of those times. Believe it or not. And I actually kind of, when I looked at it, I think it's because I did the other one. I did this other little foot one, little small dude. And it wasn't as thick. It wasn't as deep. So it was a lot easier to get, you know, in the middle of it, in between the tweeners. Way easier to get. I kind of underestimated this one a little bit. And when I went in there to blast it, well, when I put it on the table to blast it, I was looking at it closely. I was like, oh, this ain't going to be any fun at all. But I was right. It was like 50 minutes to blast it. And it's not because it was hard, it's just because you got to go at every darn angle on it. If you think about what I got to do, you got to go at this angle, this angle, this angle, and this angle to get it all. It's kind of a pain in the butt. But we got it. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. No issues at all. A lot like the other one. The other one wasn't hard to do. I mean, this isn't hard. It's just, it took time. And the problem with it is, in this business, time is money. You know, I mean, unfortunately, the longer it takes, the more money it costs. It doesn't really matter how mundane of a thing that it is. You basically have to get paid for your time. And that's pretty much what a service business is. That's all this is. I mean, a lot of people like to think that they're doing something fancy, but you're really just a service business. At the end of the day, people are bringing you their junk, and they're like, hey, did you make this less junky? And you're like, yeah, I can make it slightly less junky. And I'm going to fall. I'm going to knock a part down. It's going to be a bad day. And it's all going to be on camera. I could never let anybody see that. That would be terrible. Feel like the damn Three Stooges over here. But there's only one of them. You know, when you had Three Stooges, but you only have one, boy, you got to be extra stupid just to pull it off, you know? With Three Stooges, you could divide it between the three of them, and they're not, you know, individually, they're not that retarded, but there's only one. Or look at here. You're looking at them. There's the one Stooge. All right, we got it from the bottom. It's pretty well. There's a little bit of shiny left, but it's pretty well covered. On this, we want to make sure that we do this for the long haul. Okay, you don't want to do this again. Nobody wants to do this again. The guy that owns it doesn't want to do it again. So we want to make sure that we get it good. And we're going to looky-loo it and make sure we don't have any shinies anywhere that are going to impede our perfection. We don't like it when it impedes our perfection. Oh yeah, it's going right in there. Sometimes you'll look at something and you're like, I'm never going to go up powder coat that. And then you point the gun at it and pull the trigger and it just coats itself. And then there's ones you look at and you go, oh no, that'll be no problem. That'll be easy. And you can't get it. It ain't doing it. It's like, I don't want to do it. There's no rhyme or reason to it. You just gotta, you can kind of see, I don't know if you can see right here is where the repair is. It was broken there and there. I didn't want to hang it with these holes because gravity works. I don't know if you know this or not. I've tested it a lot and it works. It's pretty consistent too, believe it or not. You know, you can test it on Monday and then Thursday it's the same. Let's do a little quick, just to say we did it. Go over. You just want to make sure you don't see no shine. That's all. That way you know you got 2 good coats on it and you've done what you can do to prolong its life. All right, well, that there will be a wrap. We're going to put this thing in there and cook it up. And there's a little bit of something I don't like right there. Where the flat bar is at, the flat bar, it's coated, but it's not, it's still shining. Okay, it was still shining. It's no longer. It goes, but you just gotta, yep. So the way this is made is there's a piece of flat bar that's on the bottom of the table, and this is bolted to the flat bar. Well, where the flat bar backs up to the squares, the bottom of the flat bar is, okay, use a little bit more, but it was not coated before. This is why you look at everything before you put it in the oven. You make sure you look. Because right now, all you got to do is pick the gun up and poof a little more on there. You put it in the oven and you missed it, now what? Holy crap. I mean, well, I'll tell you what, my guy used to drive me nuts, boy. If they pulled it out and it had a light spot on it, I'm like, you didn't look at it, did you? And then you were no longer allowed to make fun of me for looking at stuff. Right here. Not good enough. And the thing about it is, how much time I got in this? I got an hour blasting it. It took an hour to cool. Took very little time spraying it, really. All the way down to at the end, you want to cut out 30 seconds or 45 seconds of looking at it when you can prevent a reject. The inspection process is like the most important part of this whole thing. And pre-cure inspection is everything. It is literally everything. See, now deep down on that diamond right there, a little shiny. Well, what if I just said, oh, I got it good enough and threw it in the oven? That's because it doesn't want to go in there, but it did. How about this side? Yeah, that side went. So, I mean, at the end of the day, that's all you can do, just look. And if you look it over and you see no shiny spots, no, I mean, I guess you could get too much to looking, I guess. I mean, if you've looked it over once, twice, 3 times, and you ain't found nothing, then I guess you're wasting time. But if you notice, I looked in there, found something. Looked over here, found something. Looked in there, found something. Where are we at? We're ahead. Oh, look at there. Right on that lip on the end, all the way down that lip, shining. See that? That's, I mean, this is it, man. I'm showing you how to succeed. There's nothing, no secret to it. It's not magic. It's not anything else. It's do it, run a pattern on it, and then inspect it before you bake it. On the first coat, on the hot coat, it doesn't really matter if you're doing this again. You do want to cover the metal up, seal it. That's the whole idea of the hot coat. So then if you need to do any sanding or any work on it, you can. But that's, at the end of the day, The whole idea is to not have holidays. I mean, that's like the basic thing. If the guy was dropping this off to me and he thought there was a partial chance that I wasn't going to cover the whole thing, he would have never dropped it off. And what I'm telling you is there's going to be no chance that I'm not covering the whole thing. I'm not letting it happen. I'm just not. Usually the bottoms of this stuff all wraps, and it did, but just look, just to make sure. All right, that's it. In the oven we go. And I guess we'll do glamour shots a little bit when she comes out. You guys can see what it looks like. And then we'll call the customer and let them pick it up. Thanks for watching, guys. We're all done. We'll show you what the table looks like. That table is about 60 or 70 years old. And looks like a new one now. Have a look. Tell me what you think.